The Chicago Bears backed their way into Super Wild Card Weekend, and now they're off to New Orleans to take on the Saints, who secured the number 2 seed with Drew Brees throwing for 3 TDs last week.
Throw, and it is caught for a touchdown.
It was a good warm-up for Brees, as he had thrown 3 picks in his previous 2 starts. Brees had looked a little rusty after returning from his injuries, but still, for the season, he put up 24 touchdown passes against just 6 picks. His rating for the year was over 100, and he finished second in completion percentage.
51 yards to Emmanuel Sanders.
Brees has become the master at finding his receivers quickly after the snap. That means their yards per attempt isn't very high, and their yards per catch is even lower.
And he finds Jared Cook.
But it also means Brees doesn't usually face too much pressure. They are one of the least blitzed teams in football, their QBs facing the least amount of pressure of any in the league.
3 men running at Brees as he delivers to Cook.
Brees now faces off with a Bears defense ranked in the middle of the pack when it comes to defending passes of less than 10 air yards according to Next Gen Stats.
Rodgers fires Adams in stride on the slant.
And they really weren't much better overall stopping passing attacks, their performance against Aaron Rodgers last week not helping their 2020 numbers any.
It is caught! Valdez-Scantling gonna go all the way!
Chicago faced Brees earlier this year, too. He threw for 280 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, the Saints beating the Bears in OT.
Jared Cook is wide open in the middle of the field for the touchdown.
The Bears' defense was respectable when it came to points per game allowed at least, and they owe that to being really good on 3rd down, where they finished in the top 10.
3rd down and 10, pass to Murray, and that does nothing.
And more importantly, they were 5th best when it came to red zone defense.
When you get down into scoring territory, they make plays.
Their strength here, though, will be stacked against a Saints' strength, 8th best at moving the chains and 5th best at punching it in once they were inside the 20.
Here's Hill, touchdown.
Being they were good at extending drives and cashing in on them, it's no surprise they were in elite territory when it came to yards per game and points per game.
Jared Cook at the 10, 5, touchdown!
It helped that game by game they could take a little some of this,
Looking downfield, he's going to tuck it and run at the 10, the 5, touchdown!
take a little some of that,
Touchdown, Emmanuel Sanders!
and taste some of this while they were at it.
Brees throws, has Taysom Hill wide open, touchdown Saints!
Taysom Hill, the ultimate X factor for the Saints offense this season.
Over the top of a defender, there's the Taysom Hill we've come to love.
Their play on offense could be considered underrated too, because they not only missed Brees for a few games, but they played half the season without the services of Michael Thomas. Thomas playing in just 7 games, missing the last 3 with an ankle injury.
It's Thomas along the near sideline.
They also went without Alvin Kamara last week. Kamara's dual threat skill set on full display all year. Over 80 catches, close to 800 yards, and 5 TDs through the air.
That drive, let's go good.
And coming oh so close to 1,000 yards on the ground, where he averaged 5 yards a run while scoring 16 times.
And touchdown, Alvin Kamara! So Alvin Kamara with his 6th rushing touchdown of the game.
Chicago's play against the run, solid, just over 4 yards per carry allowed.
Cook cannot get the first down.
But they also saw their leading tackler exit last week's game, Roquan Smith, having a monster year as he tries to become the next monster of the Midway.
He throws over the middle, he's intercepted.
Smith put up 139 tackles for the season, 18 of them were for a loss, 4 of them were sacks.
Brought down in the end zone. Sack!
But the Bears didn't get to the QB as often as you'd think. Khalil Mack did make the Pro Bowl on his 9-sack season.
Brady is taken down.
But there was a significant drop-off from there, Chicago ending the year in average territory in QB takedowns.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Chicago has to be disappointed with that defense.
New Orleans' pass rush was much more effective on the other hand, 45 sacks total, and their QB hit total was top 5.
Brady again under pressure, rolling out to his right, and he's taken down.
Mitch Trubisky, not overly sack-prone. He only took 1 per game over his last 3, the team average when it came to sacks allowed for the season.
Trubisky lofts it, cut! Touchdown, Darnell!
Trubisky only had a handful of snaps versus the Saints in their first meeting, but he took the starter's job back over down the stretch after Nick Foles got hurt, and he had a nice little run from weeks 13 to 16 that helped him finish with 16 TDs against 8 picks, his rating over 90.
Lofts it, down the left side, up in the air, Stagg, touchdown!
However, that run of games was against 4 teams with really poor passing defenses, and the Saints does not fall into that category.
That ball's going to be intercepted.
Passing yards per game allowed, rating allowed, yards per attempt allowed, completion percentage allowed, all top 10. In turn, they also finished at the top when it came to points per game allowed and yards per game allowed.
That ball's batted around, and it is incomplete.
Their defensive weakness, TDs allowed in the red zone. They were one of the most generous defenses once teams got inside the 20 against them.
Throws, and that ball is caught and in the end zone.
But the offense they faced was middling when it came to red zone TDs, and they were 31st at moving the chains.
He gets stuffed.
The Bears' run game had come to life late in the year, David Montgomery putting up his first 1,000-yard season, averaging over 4 yards a carry in 5 of his last 6 games.
He's giving to Montgomery, stutters, 5, 4, 3, end zone!
But here again, he caught that fire against less than formidable defenses, and the Saints' play against the run has been very formidable.
On the ground, trying to muscle ahead, and it is short.
There are only a handful of teams that ended the year holding ball carriers to less than 4 yards a carry, and they're one of them.
Gets to Dalvin Cook and a loss of 2.
So, the Saints will head into this one expected to win. They won the first meeting, they have better numbers across the board, they have a better record, but the NFL playoffs are a one-and-done scenario, and the Saints have been the favorite before, only to have some unforeseen circumstance derail their playoff plans, so anything is possible. Could the Bears bear down for an upset win, or is Who Dat Nation going to take care of business? Comments section, your predictions. This graphic coming up has ours, and since it's the playoffs, we figure it's time to up the ante. We have 10 of them this time around.